Welcome to today's mat yoga practice with Floyd. He's only going to have a partial cameo, I think. He found a spot. Anyway, welcome. We are going to spend most of today on the floor. We are going to do some seated stuff. So if you want to grab a blanket or a pillow or something so that you can elevate your hips, especially if you have cranky hips, that'll give you a little bit more space to take care of your body as we go through the practice. But we're going to start out on your backs. So take a minute and just get yourself set up here. If you can, start with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And then we're just going to begin with a little breath awareness. So if you like, put one hand on your belly and the other hand on your chest, closing your eyes, just so you can bring your attention into your body. Taking a moment to connect to your intention for doing this practice. Maybe just recognizing that you've taken this little block of time to take care of your body. Kind of let your brain relax and just follow some instructions. And also recognize that as we go through the practice, you are in charge of taking care of your body here. So even as we do in live classes, if you notice that some movement is not feeling great in your body, please adapt or skip that part. And then take another breath or two here. If you can breathe through your nose, if that's not an option today, just breathe however you can. Something easy in and out. And then let your arms come to your sides. Now your eyes can stay closed if you like. We're going to start with that nice familiar movement of your arms. So all you're going to do is when you inhale, reach your arms toward the ceiling and then up toward the floor above your head. Feel that little arch in your back. Now when you exhale, bring your arms toward the ceiling again and then down alongside your body. We're aiming here to match the speed of your breathing, so you don't have to pace yourself with me. But the entire time you inhale, just raise those arms as far as it feels good. The entire time you exhale, bringing your arms to your sides. We're going to do this a few more times. If you can, turn your palms toward each other like you're holding a big beach ball. This just puts your shoulders in a more neutral position. But also notice what's happening along your neck, your spine as you move. Maybe notice that as you raise your arms, your chest lifts toward the ceiling, pressing the back of your neck toward the floor just that little bit. You don't have to force it. And then when you exhale, your arms come to your sides. Now think about pulling your belly button in, maybe flattening that curve of your low back toward the floor. Do this another time or two at your speed. Connecting to that inhale and exhale. Now the next time your arms are on the floor by your sides, just let your arms rest alongside your body. And then bring your attention down to your feet. So this first part is just an awareness. So think about using only 10% of your strength. This is so hard. Dialing it down to just that little bit of work. But all we're going to do is press the big toes of both feet into the floor using only 10% of your strength. And then relax. More is not better here. Let's do it again. Just that little 10% effort, pressing your big toes toward the floor. And then relax. If you don't have a lot of sensation, that's okay. Just think about it. That still counts. We're going to do it one more time, pressing those big toes into the floor. And then relaxing your toes. See if you can just lift your toes and wiggle your toes a little bit, and then set your toes back down. Again, you're going to press those big toes into the floor. This time we're going to add lifting the arches of your feet just a tiny bit. And then let your feet, your toes relax. If you notice that all of your other toes are clenching when you do this, you're going too far. See if you can do it again. Just those big toes gently pressing into the floor. Think about lifting the arches of your feet a little bit. We're just training the feet. Now let your feet, your toes relax. One more time like that. Big toes gently pressing into the floor, lifting the arches of your feet. And then relax your feet, relax your toes. Maybe lift your toes and wiggle your toes a little bit. And then set your toes back down. You can even lift your heels and then set your heels back down onto the floor. All right, so hopefully we've trained the feet a little bit. So think about those big toes pressing into the floor again, lifting the arches of your feet just a tiny bit. All right, keep your feet active. Your feet are working here. We're going to add lifting the hips. So on your next inhalation, just lift your hips up off the floor a little bit. It doesn't have to be much. And then when you exhale, roll your spine down. Use those abdominal muscles to control your descent. So when you inhale, again, feet are active, lifting your hips, relax your neck. Exhale, roll your spine down one joint at a time. If you can, do this a couple more times. Inhale, lifting. Relaxing the back of your neck. Exhale, using those abdominal muscles, rolling down. Keep your toes pressing into the floor. I know they want to help. We're going to do one more. Little lift of your hips, relaxing your neck, and then roll your spine down one joint at a time. Now let your hips rest on the floor. Bring your knees in towards your chest and find a spot where your low back feels supported here. We're just going to stretch out those muscles we just tightened. So on your next inhalation, you're going to straighten your legs toward the ceiling. Only go as far as it feels good. When you exhale, bend your knees in towards your belly. Now as you do this movement, make it about your legs. You can even let your hands rest on the floor if you like. On that exhale, really pull your belly button in, using those abdominal muscles again. So inhale, extending. Exhale, bending. Just feel your body. If it feels like too much, back off. Maybe one more time. If you can, keep your legs toward the ceiling once they're there. Keep breathing. Now you're just going to point your toes toward the ceiling and then flex your feet. Push out through your heels. Go back and forth a couple of times, pointing and flexing. Maybe one more, point and flex, and then bend your knees all the way in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and just rock a little bit from side to side here. Feel that release along your low back. All right. Now set both feet back down onto the floor, finding a spot where your back feels nice and long. Now you're going to bring your attention. We're just going to move this right leg. So focus your mind on that right leg. Bring your right knee in towards your chest to start. This movement has two parts. So when you inhale, the first part is you're going to straighten your leg down your mat. The second part is you're going to keep that leg straight. Exhale, lifting your leg straight up toward the ceiling. Now we're coming back that same way. So your straight leg comes straight down to the floor. And then the second part is when you exhale, you're bending your knee in towards your belly. Try and keep your hips stationary, straightening your leg down your mat as you inhale. Exhale, lifting your leg, flexing your foot. Feel that quadricep muscle working. Inhale, maybe even point your toes as you lower your legs straight to the floor. Exhale, bending your knee back in towards your belly. I'm going to have you do one more round. Try and find your breath. If you get lost, don't worry, just come back. Now the next time that right leg is straight out onto the floor, let your right leg rest straight out onto the floor. You might feel your hip flexor a little bit here. We worked that pretty hard. So we're going to stretch that out. See if you can just move your left foot to the left a little bit and then bring your right leg toward your left foot. You want to find a spot where both hips are pressing evenly into the floor. This bent knee is toward the ceiling, so you're not rolling out. Legs and hips need to be comfortable because they're going to stay here. And we're just going to move this right arm. So on your next inhalation, raise your right arm toward the ceiling and then all the way toward the floor above your head. Just reach as far as you can go. And then as you exhale, you're going to sweep that right arm out to the side and down alongside your body. If you're familiar with my classes, you've done this many times. But see if you can just focus on moving this arm, noticing that big stretch down the side of your body on your inhale. Now, if you're feeling coordinated today, I'm going to add a little head turn. So when you raise your arm to the floor above your head, keep your chin toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, at the same time, you're going to sweep that arm out to the side and down, turning your chin away from your moving arm. So you get that stretch across the side of your neck. So inhale, arm comes to the floor above your head, chin toward the ceiling, aiming for that big side stretch. Exhale, arm comes to your side, turning your chin away from your moving arm, aiming for that top of your shoulder stretch. Let's do this a couple more times. You just find the space that feels good for you. Now, if you like, the next time your arm is on the floor by your head, stay here. Just hold your body here and breathe. See if you can press out through the sole of that right foot a little bit. At the same time, reaching out through your right fingertips. Keep your body in this position. Every time you exhale, just think about flattening your back, pulling that belly button in toward your spine every time you exhale. Find the space that you need here. See if you can even back off from 110% stretch. See if you can play around and feel the subtleties of this stretch. Now see if you can bring that right arm all the way to your side one more time, reaching out through your right fingertips, palm toward the floor. Imagine you're reaching toward that right foot just enough that you can stretch across the top of your shoulder, turning your chin left again. You find the stretch. You find the space that you need here. Taking another breath. Now relax your arm. Let your head come back to center. Bend both knees. And you're going to walk your feet back to the center. You can bring both knees in towards your chest again and just rock a little bit from side to side here. When you do this, this gives you a moment just to feel the difference, to notice that you did a whole bunch of stuff on this right side. Now we're going to do all of that on the left side, but start with both feet on the floor, knees bent toward the ceiling. See if you can just lift your hips and set them back down, adjusting your hips, your shirt, whatever you need. All right, so focus your attention on this left leg. Go ahead and bring your left knee in towards your belly. Hips stay solid and stable. No wiggling. On your next inhale, we're going to straighten that left leg down your mat. And then keep your left leg straight. As you exhale, lift your legs straight up toward the ceiling. Try and use those abdominal muscles. And then when you inhale, lower your legs straight down to the floor. And then exhale, bend your knee back in towards your belly. So 2 parts. First part is straightening your leg down your mat. Try not to kick the cat. And then exhale, keep that leg straight. Lift it straight up toward the ceiling. Hips are pressing into the floor the entire time. Inhale, lower that leg straight down to the floor. And then exhale, bend your knee back in towards your belly. If you can, again, like that. Using your breath. Exhale, lifting straight up toward the ceiling. Inhale, lowering straight down to the floor. Now you're going to let that left leg rest straight out onto the floor now. Again, notice where you feel the action. Maybe those little hip flexors are yelling. I promise we're stretching them out. So you're moving that right foot to the right a little bit. And then bring your left leg as close to your right foot as it feels comfortable for your low back, your hips, your sacrum. Both hips, both butt cheeks are pressing evenly into the floor. And then we're going to move this left arm. So as you inhale, raise your left arm toward the floor above your head, just reaching as far as you can. It might be different on this side. And then sweep your left arm out to the side and down alongside your body. Again, just pay attention, finding that rhythm, that range of motion in your left arm that feels useful for you today. Now we're going to keep moving that left arm. Inhale, arm comes to the floor above your head, chin is toward the ceiling. And then if you like, at the same time you exhale, arm comes out to the side and down, chin turns to the right. So on your inhale, you're finding that big stretch down the left side of your body. On your exhale, you're finding that stretch across the top of your left shoulder, left side of your neck. Find that rhythm, find that coordination here. Now, the next time your left arm is to the floor above your head, if it feels good, stay there. See if you can find that big space down the left side of your body. Every time you exhale, just think about pulling your belly button in, flattening your back toward the floor that little bit. Maybe one more breath right here. And then bring your left arm all the way down to your side, palm to the floor. Think about extending through your left fingertips, just reaching out through your fingertips, turning your chin to the right. One more time, aiming for that big stretch across the top of your shoulder, the side of your neck. And then relax your neck. Let your head come back to center. Bend both knees and walk your feet back to the center. Now bring both knees in towards your chest again, just rocking a little bit from side to side here. Find the space across your back that feels good. Now, if you can, you're going to keep your knees in towards your chest. Hold the backs of your legs. Just find that support for your low back. On your next inhale, you're going to open those knees wide away from each other, stretching the inside muscles of your legs. And then when you exhale, bring your knees all the way together. So repeat this movement. Inhale, knees go wide. Exhale, knees coming together. Just a nice little range of motion for those hips. Maybe one more time. And then set your feet back down onto the floor. And then I'm going to have you roll all the way over onto your belly. Now you can get there however you need, but just pay attention to your body as you move. As you come down onto your belly here, if you can, stack your hands one on top of the other and let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands. The intention is to relax your shoulders, relax your neck here. We're just focusing on the legs a little bit. So all we're going to do is bend one knee at a time. On your next inhalation, just go ahead and bend that right knee the entire time you inhale. The entire time you exhale, set that foot back down. And then you get to switch legs. So inhale, bending your left knee. Exhale, setting your foot back down. If you can, alternate. Each time you inhale, bending one knee. Each time you exhale, setting that foot down. Now, if you're feeling frisky and you want to make it a little stronger, as you bend your knee, you can think about lifting your knee up off the floor, but your pelvic bones have to stay on the floor. Your kneecap stays pointing toward the floor. So inhale, bending. Just think about lifting. As you exhale, lowering down. Do this a couple more times. If anything starts to cramp, pay attention, just back off. And then really noticing the next time you set your left foot down onto the floor, let both legs relax. Just take a breath. All right, now we're going to let both legs relax. I'm going to have you shift your arms. We're doing something a little different today. What I want you to do is bring your hands, palms to the floor, your elbows to the floor. And your hands can be wider than your mat. Just find a spot where your shoulders can relax, your back can relax here. All right, the hard part of this next move is you don't want to push into your hands. So your hands are not pushing into the floor. We're strengthening these muscles between your shoulder blades. So the action is when you inhale, you're lifting your head, your chest, your chin turns toward the floor. Think about pulling your elbows in towards your body just a little bit. It doesn't have to be that big. And then when you exhale, lower down. If you can, resting on one side of your face. If that's no good for you, you can rest on your forehead. So inhale, lifting your head, your chest, pulling those elbows back. Exhale, lowering everything down. We're going to do a couple more like that. You don't have to lift very high. Your legs do not have to be involved here. Exhale, lowering down. We're really aiming for that space between your shoulder blades. All right, the next time your head, your chest, your arms are on the floor, you get to stay here, and I want you to check in. If your back is starting to yell at you a little bit, because that was a lot of back bend, you can do a child's pose. You can do some kind of stretch for your back. If coming onto your knees just is not an option, you can even roll over onto your back and bring your knees in toward your chest. And then you're going to shift your body so that you're in a seated position. So take a minute to get yourself set up. Now, I offered that you grab a cushion before class. So you can even hit pause if you didn't grab a cushion, and you won't mind now. But we're just going to find a spot where you can stretch your legs out in front of you here. And then you're going to bend your left knee out to the side. If you want, you can even put a blanket or a cushion underneath that bent knee so your legs feel solid and stable. We're going to try and use our brains just a little bit. This right hand can stay on your right leg, or if you're feeling frisky, you can tuck it to your low back. You choose what feels good for your shoulder. You're going to bring that free arm. Bring your left arm alongside your head. Now here's the deal. When you exhale, you're going to reach as if you're reaching beyond your toes, folding over that straight leg. You don't have to touch your toes. When you inhale, extend. Imagine you're reaching beyond your toes, lifting through your chest to come all the way back up. So find that action, that extension beyond your toes as you fold forward. That extension beyond your toes as you lift up. Now we're going to really focus on the neck. Same movement, just tuck your chin as you fold forward and try not to lift your chin. Extend through your spine as you extend through that arm, lifting up. Try not to lift with your chin. We're going to do one more. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting up. All right, now let your arms relax. Stretch both legs out in front of you and check in. We're going to do the other leg. So bend your right knee out to the side. Again, if you like to put something underneath that bent knee, I'd put the cat there, but I don't think you would like it. All right. So your left leg is out in front of you. Left hand can be on your left leg or your low back. You choose. That free arm, that right arm comes alongside your head. Now, when you exhale, keep your spine tall, reaching beyond your toes. As if you're reaching beyond your toes, you're folding forward. And then extending like you're reaching beyond your toes, lifting all the way up. Again, just folding over that straight leg. And then extending, lifting all the way up. Pay attention to that neck. So you're tucking your chin, pulling your head back just a little as you fold forward. And then when you lift, keep your spine tall as you lift up. Avoid lifting through your chin. Let's just do one more, just like that. And then lifting all the way up. Now let both arms relax. Stretch both legs straight out in front of you. And then just once, we're going to fold forward over those legs. So find the stretch that feels good, just that even stretch. And then slowly sit all the way up. Again, we may have awakened those hip flexors, so we're going to stretch them out. For this next move, you're going to bend both knees so that your feet are flat on the floor and the feet can be a little bit wider than hip distance. All right, feet stay wide. You're just going to twist both knees to your right. I have to think about this. I'm going to my right as well. So your knees go to the right. That right hand can come to the floor behind you someplace. Now your left hand's going to come across to your opposite knee. When you inhale, think about lifting through your spine. Get tall. As you exhale, lead with that right shoulder, twisting to the right. I'm twisting so far. So inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, twist your shoulders and your chin to the right. You don't have to untwist, just get tall as you inhale. And then exhale, twist, shoulder, chin, even look out of the right corners of your eyes. You can even move that right hand more to the right if you feel like you have space. Now keep your shoulders turning right. Turn your chin the opposite direction. See if you can get that stretch along the right side of your neck. Someplace you can breathe easy. Now turn your chin back to the right, and then you're going to bend that right elbow all the way to the floor. All right? Find a spot where you feel stable, and then if you can, bring your left arm alongside your head. We're doing a big side stretch here. So even push your rib cage toward the ceiling. You can press your knees toward the floor wherever it feels useful. If any part of your body thinks this is a bad idea, adjust. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring that top hand. So bring your left hand toward the floor by your right hand. And then you can sink into this twist as far as it feels good. You can bend both elbows to the floor. You can set your forehead onto the floor. But as you sink in, we're going to take about 3 more of my breaths. Each time you exhale, really pull your belly button in. That's the action. Each time you inhale, just think about getting taller. All right, now we're going to come up. I know some people could take a nap there, but see if you can just press into your hands, straightening your arms, untwisting, bringing both knees toward the ceiling. And take a second here, holding your legs, just round your back once. Try and find an even stretch along your back. And then you get to sit up tall. And then we're going to twist the other way. So both knees go to the left, just as far as it feels good. Left hand to the floor behind you. Right hand across to your opposite knee. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, twist your shoulder to the left. You find the space that feels good for you. So inhale, getting tall. Exhale, twist your shoulder, your chin to the left. Inhale, just getting tall. Exhale, twist your shoulder, your chin. You can even move that left hand to the left, looking out of the left corners of your eyes. Take a breath here. Now keep your shoulders turning left. You can turn your chin to the right, aiming to stretch along the left side of your neck. So even if you need to tilt your head back a little bit, find the stretch that you need. And then turn your chin all the way to the left again. And here's where we get fancy. You're going to bend that left elbow to the floor. And then you can bring your right arm alongside your head. So find the side stretch here first. Pressing your knees to the floor, you can push your rib cage toward the ceiling. Notice where you feel the action. Could be anywhere. I feel it in my armpit. All right, now you're going to bring that top hand to the floor by your bottom hand. If this is enough, stay here. You just sink as deeply as you like into the stretch. And once you find that space, maybe you'll sink a little deeper. But every time you exhale, just think about pulling your belly button in. Find that space through your back, your hip flexors. Try and relax your shoulders, your jaw. Gravity is doing most of the work here. All right. When you're ready to come up, you're going to press your hands into the floor, straightening your arms, lifting all the way up. Bring both knees toward the ceiling again, holding your legs just once. Round your back. Find that even stretch along your back. And then sit up tall. And we're going to come all the way down onto the floor, onto your back again. Now, as you come onto your back again, just hug those knees in towards your chest, rocking a little bit from side to side. Try and find that little massage at your hips, your low back here. And then you're going to bring both hands to your right knee and just stretch that left leg straight out onto the floor. Really feel the stretch here. If you can, press the back of your straight leg into the floor. And then you can bring your left hand can rest on your left hip or on the floor, whatever feels good for you. But you want to keep both hips, both butt cheeks pressing into the floor for this next move. So on your next inhalation, just open that right knee to the right side, stretching the inside of your bent leg. When you exhale, bring your knee back in towards your belly. Now, as you do this, just find the space, find what feels good for you. Maybe clenching your glutes as you open your knee, and then relax that clench when you bring your knee in towards your belly. Now we're going to get a little fancy. The next time that right knee is out to the right side, you can stay there. If you want, you can let your right elbow rest on the floor and hold that right leg with your arm just a little, because it can be a big stretch. Try and keep your left hip, that left butt cheek pressing into the floor though. Now here's the fancy part. See if you can just inhale, straightening your right leg out to the right side. Only go as far as you can or as far as you have room. And then when you exhale, bend that right knee. Try and relax your shoulders. Mine are trying to help a lot. So just find that space where you're really focusing on this right leg. If it feels okay, we're going to do 2 more. You don't even have to go 100%. Just find the space that feels good for you. Maybe 1 more time. The next time your right knee is bent, keep your right knee bent. Bring that right knee in towards your belly. Bring both knees in towards your belly and rock a little bit from side to side here. Feel the difference. All right, we're going to do that whole thing with the other leg. So bring both hands to your left leg. Stretch your right leg straight out onto the floor here. Now just press the back of your right leg into the floor, noticing how you feel the stretch in this position. And then you're going to bring your right hand either to rest on your right hip or to the floor, you choose. On your next inhale, open that left knee to the left side, clenching your glutes a little bit. As you exhale, bring your knee back in towards your belly, relaxing that clench. So repeat this movement. Inhale, opening out to the side. Exhale, coming back to the center. Do this a couple more times, nice and easy. You don't have to go 110%, because remember, we're going to make it bigger. All right, the next time that left knee is out to the left side, again, you can bend your left elbow, so your elbow is resting on the floor, and use your arm kind of as a prop to hold your left leg up. But you want to keep this right hip, this right butt cheek pressing into the floor, your shoulders relaxing as much as you can. And then we're going to just straighten this left leg only as far as it feels good. When you exhale, bend your left knee. Now, when you do this, notice how your whole body wants to roll to the left. See if you can find the control to keep your hips, your shoulders pressing into the floor. This is some core action, folks. You may notice I'm not even straightening this leg as much as the other leg. It's different. So pay attention to your own body here. Let's do 1 more. Straighten and bend. And then you're going to bring that left knee all the way in towards your belly. Bring both knees in towards your belly. Wrap your arms around both legs and rock a little bit from side to side. Whew, feel the effect of all that. All right, now you're going to set both feet onto the floor again. Adjust your hips, adjust your back, adjust your shirt. It's always a thing. All right, now find a spot for your arms to relax. Open your feet a little wider than hip distance. Feet stay wide. Feet stay touching the floor. We're going to do our little twist. So this was a small twist. When you exhale, both knees go right, chin goes left. As you inhale, untwist. And then twist the other way as you exhale. See if you can control the movement so you're not just flopping into it. We've done a lot of work through these hip flexors today, so just pay attention. You don't need to force anything here. The idea is to find a little space through your hips, your low back, your neck. All right, so here's the deal, folks. The next time you take your knees to the right, let your knees stay to the right. You can stay in this position. Check in with your body. Notice your knees. Sometimes they can take the brunt of this twist. Notice your back, your shoulders. If you'd like to make it a little stronger, you're invited to cross your right ankle over that left knee. Now here's the deal though, you're not pulling with that right leg. It's just the weight of your right leg is gently drawing your left knee toward the floor. Notice where you're holding tight anywhere in your body and see if you can just soften that tension, kind of sinking into this twist. Now, before we untwist, you're going to uncross because that'll take the weight, the pressure off your left hip. Now, bring both knees toward the ceiling, and you may need to readjust. Maybe super crooked now. So we'll do the other side. So both knees go left, chin can go right, and hang out here without crossing your ankle for a second. I know we get excited. When you're ready, if it seems like a good choice on this side, crossing your left ankle over your right knee. Again, there's no force. It's just gravity doing the work. The action is as you exhale, you can pull your belly button in. But find that place where your shoulders can press into the floor, softening, releasing any place where you have tension as much as you can. Now, before we untwist, you're going to uncross your ankle, set both feet onto the floor, and then bring both knees toward the ceiling. If you like, bring both knees in towards your chest again and rock a little bit from side to side here. And then you're going to set both feet down onto the floor. Try and keep your knees bent, your feet flat. We've done so much for your hips today. I want to do one more thing for your arms specifically. So if you can, just reach your arms out to the sides, out at a T to your body. Hips are nice and solid on the floor. On your next exhale, you're just going to reach your arms toward the ceiling. Nice symmetrical movement. And then when you inhale, open those arms wide, pressing your arms into the floor. So when you exhale, you're reaching toward the ceiling. Really pull your belly button in. Maybe even think about pressing the back of your neck toward the floor just a little bit. And then as your arms go wide, feel your chest reach toward the ceiling, relaxing your neck. So exhale, reaching toward the ceiling, pulling that belly button in. Inhale, opening wide. You go at your speed. Do this a couple more times. All right, the next time you're reaching toward the ceiling, keep reaching toward the ceiling. Gently lace your fingers together here. Feel both hips, both butt cheeks pressing solid into the floor. And then you're going to reach your arms to the right. Go ahead and bend that right elbow all the way to the floor, turning your chin to the right towards your hands. We're aiming to stretch behind that left shoulder blade. Just breathe. And then reach back up toward the ceiling. Now we're going to stretch over to the left, bending your left elbow to the floor, chin to the left. Take a breath here, both hips pressing into the floor. And then inhale, reach back up toward the ceiling. Let's do it again to the right, bending that right elbow to the floor. Take a breath. And then reach back up toward the ceiling. And one more time, reaching over to the left. Both hips pressing into the floor. Now reach up toward the ceiling and just open your arms out to the sides, out at a T to your body. Let your arms rest on the floor, palms toward the ceiling if you can. Now all we're going to do is extend through your right fingertips. So reach out through the tips of your right fingers, pressing the back of that right hand into the floor. At the same time, press your right elbow to the floor, your right shoulder blade pressing into the floor. Now turn your chin away from your reach. Turn your chin left. Find the space, find the stretch, just noticing where you feel the action. Breathing easy. Now keep your chin turning left. Go ahead and rotate that left palm to the floor. See if you can press the palm of your left hand into the floor a little bit here. Take a second to notice the change in the stretch. Now you're going to relax that left arm. Let your head come back to center. Did I say left? We're going to do the other arm, whatever the other arm is. See, even my brain goes grocery shopping. All right, so reach out through your left fingertips this time, whichever the other hand is. Pressing the back of your hand into the floor. At the same time, get that elbow to the floor, your shoulder blade to the floor. Now turn your chin away from your stretch. Find the space somewhere between the side of your neck and the tips of your fingers. If you can't, keep turning your chin this direction, whatever this direction is. You're going to rotate that hand that you're reaching through so your palm is pressing into the floor. So you can feel the change, that different stretch through your shoulder, maybe out through your fingertips, wherever you feel it. That's what we're aiming for. Now relax your arm. Let your head come back to center. And then bring both arms across your body so your hands come to your opposite shoulders. Hips stay on the floor. You're just going to rock your arms, rock your upper body from side to side a little bit. We're aiming to give that space between your shoulder blades a little massage. When you've had enough, let your arms, your shoulders relax. And then if you notice, if you feel like you need to do one more movement, one more stretch to take care of your legs, your hips, your low back, take a minute, take care of yourself. And then bring your legs into a comfortable resting position, whatever that is for you. Find a comfortable spot for your arms, your shoulders, your neck. And then take a moment here to feel your body resting on the floor. This moment of rest is equally as important as all the movements that we've done today. This gives your body just a little chance to adapt, to adjust to all the work before you jump into whatever comes next today. Now, as you find this comfortable position for your body, you're going to bring your attention to your breathing again. If you like, you can again put one hand on your belly and the other hand on your chest. You don't have to do anything fancy with your breathing. If you can, breathe through your nose. But just take a few breaths on purpose. Letting your mind focus on this one thing. Now you can just let your body rest here in Shavasana, someplace where your whole body feels supported, where you can rest easy. If you want, you can stay here and just let the video play out, taking as much time as you need, as much time as you have. But when you're ready to come up, to come out of this position, take your time, moving slowly. Maybe bringing your knees in towards your chest first so you can stretch out your hips, your low back. And then if you're feeling like it, you can roll all the way over onto one side. So we're moving slowly. Now, the top arm, your hand can come to the floor in front of your chest. And then just press into that top hand so you can come up onto your elbow, up into a seated position. Giving yourself some space, some time to transition into whatever comes next in your day. But do take a moment to appreciate this time, the effort that you made, the time that you took to take care of yourself today. Nice job. Namaste.